Hey Taurus. I didn't plan it. This is Aquarius season. All information to work with me one-on-one is below, as well as the second part to this reading, which will be on Patreon, where we get even more in depth into the month, into the cards, and possibly the month ahead, and how it affects your life in a more detailed way. All right. So this month is a month where you might feel more of a fire under you in certain ways. It'll be a month where you find that it's a little more freeing than what has already started the year. From Capricorn season to Aquarius season, we find some relief for sure. And I think for you, it really begins to unfold by the Leo full moon, which is on February 5th, a Sunday, for most of you, or whoever is listening on this, in the western part of the world. Hold on one second. My cat really wanted to be, my cats are funny. The other one's just staring at me right now. Anyway, first card out the gate. You want more control over certain things in your life, and I think that you're really beginning to take a look at the focus of that and what that means and how that interacts with your experience in your career, like how you work, in love, and you're beginning to notice the choices that you make and how powerful they really are. So if you just take a moment now, or let your mind wander to a time when you maybe didn't feel as in control, knew you had to work a little bit harder for something or to get somewhere, and I want you to think about where you are now and just a few years ago, what one decision and how that impacted your life and how it's revealing itself to you now. You could want to change, especially in terms of how you've maybe presented the side of yourself that speaks not only with clarity, but is speaking to anyone who's around. There's no direction towards maybe who you're speaking to. It's just that you know, and you may know even better than some of these people, and you may be saying very clearly what you want, whether it's in a romantic relationship, again, or your career, but it doesn't look like there's someone listening on the other end. You may feel like you've had the same conversation over and over again, and yet at times you felt like you were getting somewhere, and maybe this time you really are finally getting somewhere. And that's going to spark a major shift. That it's possible you are not known to be spontaneous, but it feels spontaneous. And you feel maybe even, I could see, Taurus, how you would feel even blindsided by this or reactionary towards it. It's not that I'm saying don't be reactionary. You may need to be reactionary. That actually may be the best thing for you to do. So when you find yourself maybe either speaking to people or someone who is supposed to be, or what you would think is more caring in your life, what I would advise of you, and what the cards would advise of you, is that you not let it go. You know how a lot of people know with only things that it's like really needing that piece for your apartment, or that piece of clothing. It's something you know you need. And now it's really directing its way in terms of how you relate to people, how you react towards people or respond towards people. And I think people maybe have assumed the past year or so that the change in you is just this reaction from the stars. Not if they might not even be thinking that way. This reaction towards whether it's opportunities or challenges coming towards you, or even just like in your personal life, the way you communicate. What people don't realize is that that's not just a reaction to that time. That's actually you changing in real time. And I don't think people are actually used to that with certain signs, but it's actually happening with you. And I don't think there might be a person in your life. This looks like a strong male or masculine figure in your life that you're having kind of like, why aren't you listening to me type deal. It sounds like maybe like a father type figure, or, you know, someone who has some emotional authority over you. First of all, it would be who of you, if they do, to just think about where you can free yourself in that way. If you don't feel that, but you just feel frustrated with maybe having to repeat yourself or feeling like someone's not listening, it's really important for you to state it. Just be really swift about and allow yourself to react in that way, and then keep it moving, because you're just being honest. Like, you're just reacting to what you're receiving. And at this point, wherever you're at, Taurus, I just don't think you're willing to. It's not about letting it go. It's about, there's some people who need to really confront and face, and like, you will wait a very long time. And that's very general of me, and this is a general reading, but there's a truth to it. I have a Taurus ascending. There are parts of me that will wait until I'm pushed too far. And then I'll say boom, boom, boom. And it's almost unexpected. Now, if you are integrating more of that in your life and you want that to become something, and it's not to piss people off or to make people mad or get your anger out. It's more just being and revealing the sharp-witted and quick-witted person that you are, and that you're not missing anything. You're not here to be combative either, but you're not missing anything, and you do have horns and you're not afraid to use them. Because even you going back to doing your thing and really focusing on yourself, what you're doing in that moment is working on yourself. If you felt maybe stuck or complacent in certain areas of your life, you'll be brought certain experiences, especially if you're someone who wants to grow, but you kind of feel like you don't know what direction you're going in, but you know that if you add value to your life, challenge yourself in the areas that you're already at, that something will start to move eventually. This dedication will move, and this dedication to yourself, this dedication to what you value, what's important to you, what you're creating for your future, what you don't no longer care to give your energy to or attention to. This is your time to be like, I've done this before. I've done this before. I'm not doing this anymore. This is how I'm responding. This is who you get from me, especially people who claim that they care and then end up not listening. You have to remember where you let them stand with you sometimes. So that may cause a reaction out of them eventually or right away. And you're over here that's a part of working on your values, is to speak up. And it could feel like a part of you or a part of your patterns or a part of something in your life is rebirthing. And therefore, find yourself, how did that happen? Well, have you been praying more? Have you been writing more? Have you been asking more of what you want, what you're needing? And maybe it's life bringing it to you. And now, towards the end of the month, you have this opening to ask. And maybe you get to that point if you're unsure, unclear about your future, unsure about the precise steps, but you know in general what to do. I think there will become a certain clarity by the end of the month where you can speak in a way that has authority to it and a magnetism to it, but there's also something playful. You may be wanting more of that for sure, but you are looking to increase your vitality, increase the way that you experience life. You want to increase the enjoyment more. And that's where you can begin to go internal and realize, like, this is what I have done. This is how I've done it. And then how could you expand on that? How could you make maybe more of it happen, like extended vacations or multiple vacations or traveling experiences? If you're not someone who just likes to go and vacation, you like to have more of experience, more of a cultural experience, then that's maybe what you're looking to do, or expanding your family. And that's the route that you're taking, and you know that what's ahead with that. So you're almost just unwilling to let anyone stand in your way at this point, because you know what you want and you trust yourself enough or entirely at this point to have it. And the only one in the way is you. Bottom of the deck. Here you come back up. Unplanned. Amazing. And I think it's just important, like, you're just realizing your birthday is almost here. You're another year, and you're just like, how do I make this the best experiences? Take the challenges coming to you, that have come to you, and really make that an essential focus of how you have more trust and faith in what's for you and what is meant to meet you in this life. And who is meant to meet you in this life. And you go into this contemplative mode by the end of the month, in a very hyper manifestation mode, perhaps like a very magnetic mode, because you don't give a fuck, but you're trusting things. You're not just ramming into walls. You're doing things. There's a lot more purpose behind. The purpose is found throughout this month if you haven't really found it, or if you're redefining it because of what you decide to respond to in the moment, instead of waiting, clearing off someone's card and waiting a little longer. Like, there's no tracking things anymore. It's just like, you have a certain fire. By the end of the month, it's like that you've gotten so, like, if you work out and you've gotten so strong in your body, you begin to challenge yourself a little bit more, and you find that soreness, and that brings you to this restful place within yourself. And if that's with your brain or anything that you're doing, you may find yourself wanting a deep restful space by the end of the month, just to give yourself, even if it's just this conscious meditation of really how, like, even if you just ask a question, like, what you really want, or what you're being asked of in this lifetime, if you're more of that, receptive surrender type, or if you want to go after something, what you can ask in those moments is just like to show you not only a sign, but this next step forward. And I think you'll have more of a concrete answer for yourself that is extremely also very spiritual, Taurus. So I know there's a lot, but there's a lot more to get into in the second part. So that will be in a link below, as well as a more personalized reading if you'd like. My email is there to contact me as well. And we'll see you in Pisces season.